Hi, I'm recording the stories I told my kids when they were growing up about me growing up. They cheekily gave them numbers, as I told you in story number 1. So welcome to my story number 17, Sibling Rivalry. Have you suffered sibling rivalry? Not getting on with your brothers or sisters? They say sibling rivalry is worse when the children are of the same gender, close in age, and there are inequities in the family. Well, growing up at the boys' home Ruhamah with 12 brothers, let me tell you, I'm kind of an expert. My foster brothers, Bobo and Big Mike, were the same age as me. We were in the same year at school. Bobo was agile and funny, and Big Mike was sporty, intelligent, and good-looking. And when it came to getting girls' attention, I was behind the 8-ball from the start. And they called me Little Mickey. Imagine what that did to my delicate male ego. Now, I loved my 2 foster brothers. We did some great things together. But we could also get under each other's skin. So when I got accepted into the Sydney Technical High School, and they got to the Hurstville Boys High School, I felt a sense of freedom. No longer would I be defined as one of the boys from the home, in the shadow of my foster brothers. I would be able to forge my own identity. But I underestimated the impact having my real blood brother, my big brother Peter, already at the school would have. Now, I've told you about my brother Peter. He was smart. He could fix all sorts of things. For example, he got the jungle truck going when we went to Uralla after we found it in a bog. And he was talented. He learned piano and went to the Conservatorium of Music in Sydney to learn the pipe organ. This is him playing his organ for me when I visited him recently at his home. I've already mentioned him in stories 5, 6 and 15. Unlike my brother, I had no interest in music. But everyone in their first year of high school was required to do music as a subject. One day I was sitting in class while the teacher, Mr. Leachman, was trying to teach us a song. Okay, so that's how it goes. So I'll get Sears here to go and play the piano while I conduct you. Sears, go to the piano. But I can't. Quick, Sears. The music is there. Start from the first stanza. But sir, I can't. Move it, Sears! So I went to the piano, but I couldn't play it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. On top of the smoky. Sears, play! So I played the only thing I knew. The kids laughed, and I was sent out to stand in the corridor. After a while, my big brother and his mates came along. Why are you out here? What have you done now? I explained. Oh, go on. I'll explain to him. I imagined Peter telling him that the only thing that I could play was the fool. It seemed getting out from under my big brother's shadow would take some work. But sure enough, after a while, people started to see me as Mike Sears, rather than just Peter Sears' little brother. Years later, I asked my mother, why did they send Peter to music lessons and not me? Well, your father and I were very worried about your brother, she explained, because, well, he was incredibly uncoordinated. We spoke to friends about it and they said, Send him to music lessons. That will help his coordination. So we did, and he really warmed to it, and, well, the rest is history. As I grew up, I got to appreciate my brothers and our differences. Rather than seeing them as a threat, I saw them as a resource. In many ways, we were the same and our differences complemented each other. Years later, when we were at university, I was organising with a number of other Christian groups an end-of-year celebration in the Sydney University Great Hall. In the Great Hall is a magnificent pipe organ with 4,005 pipes. "What will we do for music?" asked one guy. "It's a shame we couldn't use that pipe organ," said another. "Ha! Don't worry," I said. "I've got it covered. I know a guy." And my brother made that organ come alive. The singing shook the foundations. And I had a lineup of people afterwards telling me how wonderful that guy on the organ was. "Yeah, I know," I said. "But just between you and me, he's terribly uncoordinated." When my kids would be at each other's throats, I would tell them that I had problems with my brothers too. But as I grew up, I saw our differences not as a threat, but as a resource. God has given you your family to develop you and support you, I'd tell them. The Bible tells quite a few stories about sibling rivalry. One is about Joseph, who also came from a big family like me with 12 brothers. He was the one with the coat of many colours. They didn't like him because, well, he was their father's favourite, and he kept on interpreting dreams that made out that, well, they needed him. The rivalry got so bad that they sold him as a slave and made out to their father that he had been killed. But years later, it was Joseph whose interest in interpreting dreams and his faithfulness to God saved them from starvation, from a 7-year famine that decimated their known world. You can read the story in the Bible in the book of Genesis. So be thankful for your brothers and sisters. They may sell you off, they may put you in a hole at times, but other times they may be just what you need to save your life. See you at story number 18, and God bless.